Hello, good morning, and welcome to WhatsApp TV, the third edition of WhatsApp TV, and I have with me in the studio my co-host Gloria Lombardi. Good morning, Gloria.
Good morning, Mark.
Good to have you beside me here.
Thank you.
Because you can explain to those viewers who haven't yet seen WhatsApp TV before what on earth we have this program for. What's it for? So why do we have WhatsApp TV?
Because, Mark, there are many internal communications applications and solutions and platforms, and indeed we want to help our audience, internal communicators, to make the best decision when they need to implement these solutions. And so how can they choose between hundreds and hundreds of tools? So we decided to create WhatsApp TV, which is a review program specifically targeted to enterprise solutions.
Right, yes, confusing landscape, isn't it? But the people who are going to bring it and make it clear to all of us
Absolutely.
are our wonderful guests. Two of them, for those regular viewers, will remember our regular guests, of course. We have Ciara and Wedge.
Hello.
Ciara O'Keeffe, of course, from Beam, VP of Beam.
Yeah.
Now, plenty of experience of putting apps into companies when you're working for such companies as Unilever and Diageo.
Yes.
And Wedge, Mr. Intranet himself.
Hello there.
The man behind Intranet Now.
Yes, conference in October, lots of things underway right now.
Well, there you go, quick plug in there. And we're very pleased to have, for the very first time, our third guest, Charles Fenoughty. Have I pronounced that right, Charles?
You have.
Charles Fenoughty from SQL Group. Charles, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks very much. I'm the Digital Media Director of SQL Group, which means I occupy the space kind of between these guys. A bit of an intranet consultant, a bit of an app consultant. I do anything from the digital workspace, but of course I care mostly about comms.
Okay, well you're very welcome indeed. Welcome indeed, and just checking to make sure that we are actually broadcasting all right. Yes, we are. Fine, lovely. Okay, cool. Just Rebecca having a little bit of a panic moment there. I think she was on the wrong browser or something. Okay, it's early in the morning for her. Okay, so what are we reviewing today? What are the three apps
Sure.
we're
The
reviewing?
first one is Attini, Mark, which is a content publishing solution that targets communication to employees on SharePoint, Office 365, and all the mobile devices.
Yep.
It's supposed to be very simple and easy to use, but let's see what our judges think of it.
Okay, right, so Attini, it's easy to use, that's fine. Let's start off with you. Ciara, you've been majoring on Attini. What do you think?
Yes. So they market themselves as an awesome reading experience. They call themselves the flipboard of internal communications. And I did like it in that it is a good reader experience. The user interface is quite clean, it's quite crisp. They allow for personalization of reader news, so you've got some filters. So for example, Mark, if you're in sales, I'm in marketing, they can automatically filter out so that you only see something in sales, all the sales news, I see the marketing news. But if I want to be a better marketeer, I can also sign up for the sales news. So that's really good to be able to have those options. They also say that they allow for, gives users a voice. And for me, it's important when you say that you think of all the options. So for them, giving a user a voice is allowing them to comment on content.
Yeah. Oh,
but
right.
you don't have user-generated content. So I can't create an article. I can't tag you in an article, for example. So it's quite limited. And also in terms of a community, building a community around this, they don't have that either. So I can't mention you, you won't get a notification around that. And as we all know from using external apps, so within our personal life, unless you get notifications, you're not really going to go back in there. So thinking of Facebook, LinkedIn, for example, if you're not getting anything from that, saying people comment on your post or like something that you've also liked, you're not going to go in there. So I thought that was missing. The sign-up process as well. So obviously it's a niche product, for you're going to use it only if you've got Office 365 and SharePoint.
Oh, right, so it sits on top of...
It sits on top of that, so you have to have that first of all.
Okay.
So for me, I focused very much so on the app rather than the desktop experience because I was quite confused as to why I would want this as well as Office 365, SharePoint and Yammer. I thought already you're confusing people a lot. So on the mobile experience, let's say I have signed up for it, I've linked in my Office 365, I've also linked in SharePoint, I've linked in Yammer, and they're is one really great example where single sign-on could be very useful.
Yes.
And if I want to post a comment on an article, I should be able to say I want this posted on Yammer as well.
Yeah.
But I can't on the mobile version.
You can on
the desktop version,
yeah.
yes. So already you're creating a silo. You're
So
creating a
there's
different,
a-
yeah. I was very confused because I read that I would be allowed to do that, but on the mobile I couldn't. So I felt that there was quite a few disconnects like that. I couldn't have the subscribe, I couldn't have the share options, so I couldn't share with people, I couldn't subscribe to other things from my mobile. So it all led me down the path of thinking that this is a desktop first solution.
Okay.
So they're thinking about mobile afterwards.
Right.
And in terms of kind of working well with Yammer, there is a lot more they could be doing, but they haven't.
Yeah.
And in terms of sharing content externally as well, I don't know how they limit that, because obviously a lot of companies have private news.
Yeah.
So they say that on the desktop version and on the tablet version you can share, you can choose to share some content. I don't know how they limit that.
Okay.
So I find that interesting as well. I did like, in terms of user experience, that they keep you within the app. So if you want to click on a video from YouTube that's showing within the app, or an external website, it opens within the app. So you've
Right.
got better chance of keeping people within there, which I really, really liked.
Yeah.
So there are some good things, but their disconnect is quite a big negative for me, because you are going to confuse users, and when users are confused, they're less likely to use it.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a kind of news broadcast app basically. It's for getting the news
Yes.
out there, targeting people.
Yeah, it would be a good option to replace newsletters, employee handouts, and emails when you're already using SharePoint and Office 365.
Gotcha. And it's extremely cheap. I mean, it's 70 cents per user per month. So that's about, what, 50p. We haven't seen anything less than £1 on
Yes.
this program before. So, I mean, if you've got 2,000 people, you could put this in for about £10,000. It's extremely.
You would,
Good
but
value.
cheap option isn't always the best option. If you're, I would like to speak with them and ask them what their roadmap is, because if you're paying for this now and you're going to go through the whole painful process of rolling it out to your employees, and that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
It's not buying the app or getting it, launched internally. It's
It's the
actually getting
adoption, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And if you're going to go through that, you want employees to then know that there's more coming down the line, and you're not going to have to get rid of this one and bring in something else when you get more mobile as a company.
Yeah.
So seeing their roadmap, and by all means, as purchasers, you can ask for that up front from any of these vendors and say, I want to see what your roadmap is, and they might have options where they're going to integrate with other non-Microsoft products, and that might be good as well, because it obviously leaves you that option as an enterprise to go that route if you need to.
Yeah, and as we've seen, everybody who develops an app, it never stands still. They're always developing add-ons. So it could be that functionality, the social functionality, which is currently on desktop, could well find its way onto
exactly, and it's
onto
very
the
easy to
mobile.
do.
Yeah.
With an app, you can always extend the options, extend the functionality, and you want to know that they're going to be constantly investing in it as well. Because if you're paying for this ongoing per user per month, it's not a one-off fee. You need to be assured that they are going to be consistently investing in it.
Continuing to invest.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wedge, what do you think of this?
Attini, yes. So on iPad, it's a really good reading experience. So if you're in the field, or if you do not sit down and you do not log on to the Office 365, you could rely on the Attini app to keep you up to date with corporate comms.
And Charles?
I really quite liked it, and I do see a use case and appreciate the price point for a very particular specific use case, because I often believe that apps that try to do everything to all people often fail. So if you can start with the definition, I have an audience need, and the need is to take the corporate news to a specific mobile audience easily and quickly, and that is its purpose. And I would say it does that really, really well, really quickly, really cheaply. And off the shelf, whilst it does look quite Microsoft, and I personally prefer my UX a bit more snazzy, it really works. It was really quick and easy. You click on an article, takes you to the article, you click back, you get to your screen, you scroll down, and you see it again.
Yeah, I thought the mobile experience we're seeing, you see the screenshots here are quite good.
Very good.
Very clean. A little colour there telling me which sector I'm in, whether I'm in marketing or if I'm in sales or whatever.
I'd like to be able to subscribe to multiple categories. That either-orness is a bit odd, and I would like a flow through my stories. And I would also prefer an offline caching that's slightly better. But as for getting it on the phone, if you don't mind that you have to tell your employees, when you're talking about the difficulties of rolling out, that you tell your employees you're downloading a third-party app called Attini, as long as you don't mind that it's not branded your way, it's easy. You just have to go to the Apple Store because it uses your Microsoft 365 login. So because it uses single sign-on on your Microsoft 365, you don't have to worry about enterprise certificates, you don't have to worry about mobile device management, and all of these MDMs, if you have an MDM, adds the cost because there isn't a mobile device management solution under £3 or £4 per user per month.
Right.
So if you had to have one of those as well,
Yeah,
that 70
that's-
cents becomes jolly expensive.
It's quite expensive, yeah.
But since you just go to the Apple Store or the Android Store, it makes 70 cents per month a genuine cost and not just a hidden cost, ignoring the fact you have to buy something else.
This is why distribution is really going now, isn't it, to the Apple Store, and because it's just so much simpler.
But for brand, if I were branding a company, I wouldn't want a person to have to open a my company app that looked like somebody else's third party. It's the problems I see with things like Jive and Yammer, is they're not company branded.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, we're going to give it out of 10. What score would you give it? Wedge, let's go for you first. What would you give it out of 10?
Well, I think it does have a flow. I think the iPad app is great for reading. Maybe it is a bit of an enterprise flipboard, perhaps. So for end user experience, it's lovely. You can give it a solid 8. I'm not an expert in the back end, though.
8 out of 10. Charles, what are you going to give it?
I'd give it a similar because I didn't use the iPad, I used the iPhone. So my experience was beautiful out of the box, easy to get on. As long as you are defining it for a specific purpose, comms only, 8.
Lovely. And how about you, Ciara? What score are you going to give it?
I gave it a 7 out of 10.
7
It's
out of 10.
a really good newsreader. The reason, I gave all the other reasons as to why I didn't give it anything higher in terms of the social features that aren't so great. And also a big part that was missing as well is the people section on your mobile phone. You can't get access to an address book. So for people, if you are using it for non-desk employees, that's very key. So it's not just news, it's people too.
Okay, lovely. Well, all things that they could put into the development